Oh my gosh, we are overwhelmed. Dwayne's over my left shoulder. Gershon is under the mic there. And of course we have the family that is Vintage House in studio. Our super duper producer, my honey bun, Miss Lauren Lowry.
Honey bun, that's interesting.
Honey bun, and our super duper media director, Chloe.
Who we haven't seen. I haven't seen her all year. That's amazing.
Ernest.
And then DJ E in the house. What up?
DJ chilling. Spent some time on the show telling us about the Quigley South history in the house era. You didn't get to hear my stories from Quigley, so we got to do that show.
What high school did you go to, Byron?
I went to St.
I played at Holy Trinity. Quigley South was in our conference. And I don't know if Fred Beavers, if you still out there, but remember I picked your shot on the backboard.
So it's February, it's Black History Month. Vintage House is a part of Black history. We appreciate WNUR's participation in this month and allowing us to be on air as one of the community programmers here at Northwestern University. And we're going to get into some great Q&A to understand the impact that 10 City has had on this genre of house music. And what's up next? We've got some exciting news and some breaking news here for our Vintage House fans. Thanks to Byron. Well, tomorrow is actually the...
Andre Holman, that's my heart right there. That's my brother.
Andre's holding it down on the West
California.
Coast. Yes, sir. Randy Roberts is shouting you out.
What up, Randy?
How did that just come down like that?
So we're going to get into My Piece of Heaven, close it out, and then start this show in full effect here on WNUR.
What up, Randy? I know Randy got a cigar in his mouth right now as we talk.
Tanya Griggs, my neighbor. All right. We just heard My Piece of Heaven. I'm in heaven right now. Couldn't be too much closer here at the WNUR studios because, again, as I mentioned, we have in the room with us legends of house, including Byron Stingily, Dwayne Buford, Gershon Jackson, and, of course, the Vintage House crew, WNUR. And I am honored that you all are with us because it's the eve of my birthday, and it's always a special occasion. I still go back to the 50th celebration, which I've just been afraid to try to even come close to that. My dear wife, Mrs. Mega, as she's affectionately known, threw an amazing event. An amazing event.
Is that what we're calling
I love her
Karen
for
now?
that,
Mrs.
and
Mega?
I love her every day.
Call her Mrs. Mega.
Vintage House.
It's crazy.
Okay, I got reset, preset, and help me, Lord. Okay.
Take it easy.
Oh,
Yeah. I want to hear Take It Easy, man.
oh, let me get it
All
on.
those good, though. You got that one?
All right, exactly. Everyone's all suited up today. Everyone looking good. I'm like, what is going on here today? We got bow ties. DJ Emmanuel Pippin says, alone. I don't know why he's not staying up here.
It is a 10-city night on Vintage House. Dwayne Buford, Byron Stingily, Rashawn Jackson, DJ E, super duper producer Lauren Lowry, media director Chloe Forte, and yours truly, your main man Mega, Deborah Plott checking in, Charles Armstrong, Vic Lavender, what's up, bruh? Trying to get you on Vintage House with your main man Mega. Let's lock that date up.
Charles Armstrong. I'm hearing all kinds of people I ain't heard from in years, man.
This is what happens on Vintage House. We go deep, we go deep, we go deep.
Wow.
9:56, we're on the air early. We got a lot to talk about with Byron Stingily for tonight's 10-city reunion. So, who owns the rights to this record?
In terms of what?
I know because Facebook Live is going to claim that there are...
Oh, I own the publisher rights, so you have permission to play it. All the members of 10 City own rights, but I own the publisher rights, and we have permission to play it.
We are hereby granted the rights to play this
Sony
song
ATV
on this show.
administers publishing, but I'm the rightful heir to it, and all the rights revert back to me. I think when I turn like 93 or something.
There you have it. So we're playing these songs as part of the phenomena that is 10 City.
I get all rights back in 10 years.
And so in the 80s, right, we introduced 10 City to the world. Why don't you tell us a little bit of how the group was formed and what was the inspiration behind that super incredible, vocal, magical, whimsical song?
Well, the first song as 10 City was Devotion, and the song was actually, I was actually singing a ballad one day, and Marshall Jefferson said, "That's it, that's your first song," because I had went out to New York with Marshall. Move Your Body, people don't understand, Move Your Body, it was big here in Chicago, but in New York, that song was all over like R&B radio, pop radio, and regular rotation. And we went out there, and Marshall literally had 10 shows. He performed at a spot called the Paradise Garage, and it had to have been about 5,000 people. The first night, Friday nights were a mixed crowd, and then Saturday night was all gay night, and he performed both nights, and it literally felt like when we were on the floor of the club, because the club was on the second floor, the floor was bouncing up. Yep. I was literally like trying to like you were on a boat, the floor was rocking like that, and I was like, wow. And to see that, and I told Marshall, I just went out there. I was helping carry bags for them. Like, I was humble, and then they were like, "Oh, I had a song called Can't Stay Away." They were like, "Oh, you can come out and be the opening act and sing Can't Stay Away." And I had another song, Just a Little Bit. So I sung those, and I told Marshall, I said, "Man, this record's huge. We can get a major deal." He was like, "No major label gonna sign us." I said, "Dude, we can get a major deal," and called Atlantic Records, and they were like, "Man, come on in." Went to and Atlantic was like, told me, he said, "I like Can't Stay Away. I love Just a Little Bit." He said, "Your next record, we gonna put it out in Atlantic." And I'm so thankful that to Marshall, and I asked one of my friends, Dwayne Buford, to come down too, because Dwayne had a group called Jesse's Gang along with Jesse Saunders, but Dwayne was a musician and instrumental part of that. And Dwayne always kept me around him when they would be in the studio working on their first albums, and when they were all, a lot of people don't know this, one of the first sample tracks was did by Dwayne, and he taught me so much about production, and he's one of the unheralded people in house music. And I know we're talking about 10 City, but this guy also is instrumental in the industrial rock because he was a part of the group Ministry. And so I learned a lot of my music production from him, and he took me under his wing like Absolutely. I was his brother, like from day one. And so between him and Marshall, and then Ray Barney, who owned Barney's Record Shop, who gave me my first job as a kid. I worked at Barney's Record Shop. I came back home from New York. I said, Ray, Atlantic Records said they want to sign me. And he said, well, what do you need? I said, I need to get in the studio. And he said, well, okay, just let me know. And I didn't really take it serious. And then I had been home from 2 weeks from New York, and Merle and Bob from Atlantic called me, and he said, you did my record yet? And I was like, oh, he's serious. I called Ray.
And ours always serious.
Yeah. So we went in the studio like 2 days after that, and we cut the record Devotion. And they picked it up. And I'm gonna be honest with you.
Always that.
Gershon's gonna laugh when I say this, but because he always keeps trying to tell me I'm 6'1", but I'm 6'3", and you know, at that time I was like 6'3", 235, somewhere.
You're looking for that validation, Gershon.
Nah, he know I'm taller than him though. So if I'm 6'1", that means he's 5'11", so that's all right. But it's cool.
So you had
I had a deal on the table. And I'm being honest because now I can speak honestly. I've lived my life. I'm 50-something years old. I'm not 70-something, but I'm 50-something. And I wasn't comfortable in my own skin, you know.
Really?
No, I was not. And so I didn't see myself as a solo artist because you had Michael Jackson, and I didn't think I was Michael Jackson. You had Prince. I didn't think I was Prince. You know, and they were different sort of. I was a big guy. You know, these were little bitty guys. And I could do splits and stuff back then, but, you know, I probably would have really hit some higher notes. But, you know, but I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin, so I thought putting a group together would be more interesting than me. And so I decided to put the group together.
Yes.
And Marshall Jefferson would never admit this if he was here. He'd be like, no, he was mad at me because he was like, why are you going to bring some more people in and we got to split this and that up?
Dwayne's got a perspective on this.
Well, see, I beg to differ with you.
Come on over to the mic, Dwayne.
Do you remember when we wrote that song, Serious Love?
Yes, sir.
You were in my basement. We wrote an amazing song. And I went out to L.A., and I had a meeting with Jeff Foreman.
Mm-hmm. Who was M. Toomey's brother.
Yeah. But I left the tape with Craig Costich, who was head of the dance department at Warner Brothers. They were going to do this big compilation, and I left it with him. I called him. I went back to Chicago. I called him and said, did you listen to that tape? He goes, no, I'll listen to it, and I'll call you next week. I lied to you not. He called me in 15 minutes.
Right after hearing it.
Right after hearing it. And they wanted Daryl Pandy to do it. And I was saying, well, what about the singer that's singing it now? It's Byron Stingily. And Byron wasn't signed yet. But he kept pushing Daryl. So I called Byron. I said, look, we don't have to do this. You know, we know we got a great song. But Byron said, you know, I'm going to make some money off of it. So, you know, let's let it, you know, go the way it's going to go. You know. But, and then about maybe 3-4 months later, he was signed.
That was a record signing, right? Yeah. That doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, it didn't happen that, and I mean, there were only like, they had signed, Jesse's Gang had signed to Geffen, but then they didn't do house, they kind of did pop, and then Vince signed Bang Orchestra, and then they did something like a little alternative style music. But the first group to really sign to a major label that did an album was JM Silk, actually. And so one thing that I wanted to do when we did is to make our first album a house album. And so I do think that 10 City was probably the first group to do a predominantly house album, and it went gold in South Africa, it went gold in England, and, you know, and we had like top 10 pop records and stuff like that off that album all over the world. And we just did a concert with a live full band in South Africa this summer, and people knew every word to every song off that first album, and it came out 30 years ago. And people came up to me and they were crying after the show, and they were telling me what that song meant to them, what that album meant to them when they were going through apartheid, and how that was their celebration music, that album and what that meant. And I had no idea. And like, so I felt like not just us, but house music has really given some people some great memories in countries all over the world. And I'm so thankful, because I was in a group. I used to run around in a group like, you know, with lace over one eye and stuff like that. And, you know, I'm going to leave that alone right now.
The costume. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to save you from that, because
Yeah,
you
please.
brought some
Mike,
you brought some amazing gifts for
I told you I was 6'3",
your man.
235. I didn't look that good in that lace.
with the
man.
lace front.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about weed, y'all. The opportunity for you that are tuned in to WNUR and on Facebook Live tonight is to hear some new music from Byron Stingily. He brought us a gift to your main man, Mega. The first track we're going to listen to is one called Celebrate Me.
It's for you, man. Celebrate yourself, man.
And so we're going to celebrate together. Here
All
we go.
right. Man, you have some lace too, man. Stop playing, man. Dave Chappelle even said on his sketch, the guys that ran around with, you know, anyhow.
Turn the
Yep.
mics off when
Yeah.
we hear it in here.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm glad the mic was turned off.
They're not turned off yet,
Tell
no.
them what they were chanting in the crowd. When you had
No, when you're not
So
going
you're
too loud.
still live on Facebook Live, and we are tuned in to Celebrate Me on air.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Is it playing, brother? Can you hear me now? Can you hear it? I see something popping up on the meters.
Yeah, it's very faint. So our media director and our super duper producer.
Sorry.
What's
It
that?
comes at a...
Yeah, this is
There you go.
fantasy.
No, I said you celebrate me, man.
Right. So it's not playing because it is not connected. So we've got a solution for this. We'll go over to the board.
So many chords. So many chords. Put it up on speed when you see it go up.
I remember house before.
It wasn't.
If you put it up here.
I remember house before it had an act.
Yes, sir.
That's a straight up delay.
It's a 7-minute delay.
Is it 7?
7 seconds, sorry.
7 seconds.
I remember house before it was hot. I remember house
Okay,
before
we
it
got
was
it.
hot. I remember house when house had pictures.
Lots of pictures.
I remember
Send
house
them.
before MPC 60. I
That's
remember
so
house
true.
before house had pictures. I remember house before the whole world.
I don't know. Do you remember which one on the list they're saying if the iPod connector was working?
Yeah, I did that. They said they fixed it. I saw
Oh,
it.
that's good. They must be good.
technical difficulties. You're listening to Celebrate. We're getting music real time here, shared with us just for you. I want to ensure that you have a chance to experience what I'm experiencing here in the studio. The gift of music, literally. Byron, thank you.
That soul shake.
So Lena Mays is checked in.
J.R.
Michael
Jordan.
Moog is shouting you out.
Oh, wow. What's up, Alicia? What's up, Mike?
Cheryl Cox.
J.R. Jordan.
Hey, Cheryl.
That is.
DJ Lonnie B. Greetings. Thomas Redrick.
West side of the house.
Listening to Celebrate Me. Tell us a little bit about this.
I'm just in the stage of my life. I'm trying to do some things that I feel everybody needs to celebrate themselves, you know. I just know personally, I've always taken a lot of time. I always try to make sure everybody around me is happy and please everybody else. But sometimes you got to just take some time in life to do some of the things you like to do and treat yourself every now and then. You know, I don't talk about this, but I show it on my Facebook. But I got 7 kids. I'm always doing something for my kids. And I say, you know what? Sometimes I just got to do something for me to put a smile on my face and some of the things that I enjoy.
You are a big papa, and that is an amazing family that you have, and we are, thankful that they share you with us.
Yeah, well, they got their own lives. Daddy got to have a life too now.
So we are listening to the inspiration for this track, Celebrate Me. Let's get back to it.
I didn't see that close to me.
We're gonna ask you later your top 3 tracks.
Alan King checking in. What's up, AK? Stephen Coachman. David Griggs.
Wow.
Big Mike. Mike Johnson. Kenny Allens. Yo, yo.
What's up, AK?
My roomie, a DJ international artist and friend of the Vintage House Show, Jerry McAllister.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
Jerry.
Stay
Selling on the
tuned.
train platforms back when he went to Whitney Young. That was my guy.
Stay tuned for some exciting stuff coming from Jam, Jerry McAllister. The feedback on Celebrate Me is 4 flames. It's hot. It is. Lena
That's not
Mays.
right there.
Ricky Lenore, our boy Rick,
That was my family there.
checking in. Jerry says, "What's up, Byron?" Kenny Allen says, "My brother." So we got a couple more to go. Let's get into a little more about.
Let's play. You never should have fell in love with a DJ. That's what I'm feeling right now.
Okay, I don't have that
I'm still going to that's the immaculate track.
one. Okay, it's just labeled immaculate.
Yeah. That's how he be trying to have it too, man. like that.
All right. Celebrate me. We're really celebrating a studio full on tonight's Vintage House episode, but that track was indeed fire. That song, don't let me disrespect it in any way. It was a full-fledged, powerful dance floor burner. Just as we end that song, we're going to get into one more that Byron brought as a gift for us tonight, and this is called A DJ.
Never should have fell in love with a DJ.
Should have never fallen in love with a DJ.
With a DJ.
That was our Valentine's Day show story, I think.
Let's go.
It's called a Prancer, DJ Immaculate. Not out yet.
A Vintage House exclusive. Sounds like each of these is just going to get progressively higher, right?
We'll see.
We're about to turn winter into summer here on Vintage House.
You brought the night to a crescendo beat. I thought that you were playing just for me. And after your sweet serenade,
Watch how you gonna do it.
you turned cold and never even looked my way. You were more concerned with working on your blend. Never again. I never fell in love with a DJ. Never fell in love. He loves his music, he loves his practice more than he loves me.
Love it, I love it, I love it. So true. Not true.
You work the system, I don't know what to think. As soon as the music began to spin, I was all queued up. You never worked me in. The songs I thought were meant for me, I found out were for everybody. Now I felt so alone. And when I looked up, all the music was gone. I never should have fell in love. He loves his music, loves me, he loves his records more than he loves me.
Right, we can get the dance party going. What happened to my
Try to tell him.
clapper? I got it stored in the cord.
There we go. There you gotta move it yourself. There you go. Oh man. They can't see that. Can they see that on Facebook?
Oh,
Oh,
Vintage House.
We start two-stepping.
Party. Wait a minute.
Tin
Wait a
City.
minute. What you got? I know
DJ
the
Pope.
here, right?
DJ Immaculate on this one, y'all. Friend of Vintage House. Carla Prather. Never should have fell in love with a DJ.
If you let your daughter fall in love with a DJ,
Hey, I would not ever.
Terrible idea. Terrible idea.
My mini mega. So we've got a great crowd tuned in. We're experiencing new music here on Vintage House. Byron Stingily, also in studio. Gershon the Vintage House crew. It's a celebration. The main man Mega's
Hey, Alan Kane, would you let your
birthday
daughter fall in love with a DJ?
His daughter is a DJ.
Oh, she gotta love herself then. All right.
Among many great
Many other
talents.
talents, yeah.
A lot of proud parents in house music. We'll do a special Father's Day episode of Vintage House with some of our pioneering dads. All right. So tell us a little bit of background about this.
Woo! That's sweet. Thank
All I
you.
gotta say is Dwayne was in the group with Jesse Saunders.
Oh, that's all we're getting on this one.
Nah, I mean, anyhow, I'm gonna leave that alone. I got a lot of DJs as friends. It was actually me called myself. I like to write songs with stories and catches to it. And basically, the song "In Deep" last night, a DJ Saved My Life, was just like nobody's done a song like about that. And I got some friends that was like, all they did was spend all their high school years in their room with turntables. And a lot of my friends are DJs, and they actually introverts and shy, but then they get behind the turntables, and all of a sudden they get all sexy all of a sudden, and you know, then girls like them, but then they focus on they blend, and you know, you got some girl that showed up to see you, and you gonna act like you don't see her in front of the booth. You ain't gonna even let her in the booth. Come on now, what's wrong?
DJs are rock stars,
What's up
man.
with that, man? She
Rock
can't come
stars.
stand in. Why she can't stand in the booth with you, man?
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
there's that's a whole nother show, Byron. I mean, clearly we know that there are some DJs who just get in the zone, and
That's all more important than your woman at the time, man. Come on, man.
no, you were describing randoms. I mean, you weren't
But Randy can't
describing
even get to the next level.
the woman,
Uh-huh.
your bae, right?
So your baby, you like, no, I gotta get this 1 and 2. I gotta get this blend right. Hold up.
No. I'm not.
You gotta
going
get
to,
out the room. I'm
not
working
going
on
to
my
defend the behavior. I'm just providing a psychological perspective on. This is philosophical.
Yes,
groove,
sir.
so
Yes, sir.
I there's no facts. It's just all philosophy here. Nonetheless, we are.
Now, if I was that kind of guy back in the day, like all my friends was DJs, and they girls would always be walking off sad, and I would be like, "What's wrong? He brought me here. He act like he don't even know." Oh, for real? Now I'm just saying, if I was that kind of guy, Anyhow, I'm gonna leave that alone too.
But no, now they have this song to play. Right. This is the song that they play when they're in that space.
Okay.
DJ Immaculate, Carla Prather, Byron Stingily.
Absolutely.
I should not have fallen in love with a DJ. Fire, pure fire.
Okay.
So clearly you're not out of this game. You are in full effect. Tell us about the ebbs and flows of Byron Stingily in 10 City.
Well, I'm not out of the game, but music business has always been a young person's game. But I admire the people like Gladys Knight, the Mick Jaggers, and the people who Patti LaBelle's, who groups like Frankie Beverly and Mays. And I'm thankful. I see like groups like even in disco, Tramps, Evelyn Champagne King, and Chic. I've done shows with Sister Sledge and Tavares. So, and I just want to have a career. Like I don't like before. Like all I did was music, and I know a lot of people don't know this, but maybe about 15 years ago, I lost my voice completely, and I went into education. So I'm a school principal during the day, and I go out on the weekends, maybe once or twice a month. I fly out on a Friday night, go do a show somewhere in England, Italy, somewhere, and I'm back home in bed Sunday night, back in front of the office. But in the summertime, I go out and do festivals. I went out with a full band this summer. We hit
nice.
We hit places like Portugal. I said South Africa. We did Southport, England, a big festival with like 25,000 people there. And the band, one of the things that I didn't like about a lot of dance music acts get labeled track acts. And I actually came up in bands where we played, and I'm not trying to, but we play instruments. But when the club say, hey, I just want you to come and throw your CD on and sing to the CD, and I'm like, but I want to bring my full band. I want to bring the string players that played on Devotion. They're not trying to pay for that. And so just now, though, with the rebirth of music and people actually in Europe want to hear that real music, to have a chance to go out and do that this summer, that's still one of the greatest feelings ever, you know. And education gives me purpose as well because I'm helping young people, but
absolutely.
I still enjoy to step out on a stage and to see people get emotional about songs that we did 30 years ago. Like one of my greatest thrills this weekend was the All-Star Weekend, and they played my buddy Marshall Jefferson's song to kick off the game. They played Move Your Body.
That was so nice.
And that was an ode to Chicago house. And I was like, wow, man.
That montage was spectacular.
To see our music getting that kind of appreciation, and then to see the Chosen Few, to see the Millennium Park thing where there's 25,000, 30,000 people, and they actually play live. And they did elements of life. But I would actually, and I'm going to put this out there, I actually would want to see them bring 10 City to the Millennium Park and give us the same budget that they gave Elements of Life, and so that I could bring strings and horns and put on that same kind of show and get the same type of respect in my own hometown. Like I said, I'm going to say what's on my mind. I'm not trying to be politically correct.
Arts, you heard it here on Vintage House.
You know,
10 City.
It's just how we treat each other in Chicago. I had somebody call me this week and ask me to come and do a couple songs at that nightclub for $200. I go to Europe and I get paid. I don't want to say but I get paid like stupid money.
you don't need to disclose.
But you bring somebody from somewhere else and you pay for their flight, hotel, and you was going to get them 20 times what you want to offer me. That's ridiculous to me. And I've done favors for people, but we got to start treating each other like what our value and worth is.
Can you talk about your representation? Do you have someone negotiating for you, or are you out front yourself? I mean, when the band 10 City was in place,
I have agents and things like that in Europe, but in America, the big venues and things like that are few and far in between.
Sure.
So, I mean, like, if it's somebody who I've done shows with, like I got certain people I've done shows with out in New Jersey for years. If somebody call me, hey, it's my...
That's the relationship, right?
Yeah. And I'm never... I don't care if I had a record that was whatever. I'm still going to value my relationships with people because it's no different than when I work even at my school. I have parents that, like, do things for me, and and people are like, wow, that parent... Because you don't know, like, the relationship that we built and the things like when... They might not have this, it might have been this, but then they came and looked at, here's a peach cobbler, whatever, you know.
So talk about what you think would be different if you didn't have some of those relationships. And again, in the past, you had Doc that worked on your behalf, on behalf of the group. He took care of some of those,
everything.
Yeah, logistics for you. And so the difference now that you're experiencing without that representation.
But a lot, it's good to have a buffer, but a lot of people don't know, like, this Doc was and may he rest in peace, Doc was incredible, but Doc was a mouthpiece. A lot of people don't know this, but the original 10 City deal, I told you, I went out there and got that. I negotiated that deal with Atlantic. Maybe I'm to blame for that, but I owned all
the... It was a learning experience, yeah.
No, I was mentored, though. I had Ray Barney to mentor me. I had Dwayne Buford. I watched Jesse's gang do their deal. I watched Vince do their deal. I was sitting there in the law office. I went to college. I studied music. And so I owned all the rights to my publishing all these years. I still own the rights to 10 City Publishing. And I've negotiated some very good deals to the point that some labels were like mad. I play stupid, but some labels mad, like, how this guy know all these things, but our business was always done in a very good way.
Tight, and so I certainly didn't intend to.
No, you did. I didn't take it like that.
But from a performance standpoint, cited the fact that some people wanted to undervalue your performance contracts, which are obviously different. Live performance.
It's up to me whether or not I want to accept that, but I just say it's more. But I guess when you're in your hometown, but anyhow.
And so we'll get back to some more insights in the business that help put 10 City on top, but we have some additional artists in the studio.
Absolutely.
Gershon Jackson, he has shared some of his new music, and I'm going to tee up a track here called, I think it's...
Is it Y'all Be Easy?
It's Take It Easy. Take It Easy with Mike Dunn.
I thought he was gonna play that one that they played in the Dolomite movie.
Oh, true?
I'm in a ding dong ring. You know what that?
No, I ain't had nothing to do with that.
You ain't had nothing to do with that.
I had nothing to do with that.
All right.
Are we back to doing this? Where's the
Oh, there we go. There we go. I think you gotta slap it.
can't have no false? Oh, there you go.
You're listening to a Gershon Jackson, Mike Dunn banger called Take It Easy here on Vintage House.
This is so hilarious.
Thanks to all who are tuned in. Hopefully you can still see us. Mender Remix Roy.
What's up, Leda?
Terry Hunter. Tease Box Records.
Hey, Terry, where's my coat, man? It's cold outside.
I just can't believe we gotta do lights too, like we at the real club. Like someone's gotta do lights.
Linda Red checking in. Linda says, hey, Byron Stingily.
Can they see you?
Yep. Miss Lady Alicia checking in tonight. Girl Cox.
Oh, I ain't got my glasses on. Girl Young.
Terry Hunter cracking up about your coat.
They got my Mohawk coat, man.
It is a party, Lady Alicia. arriving every minute in the studio here.
He's coming out of nowhere, right?
Yeah. Dave Ristay is in the building, y'all.
Hey, sir. Oh.
I didn't recognize him under his winter woolly. You're tuned in to Vintage House, the eve of Mega's easy, y'all. Take it easy. I'm trying to keep control here, but the studio is blowing up. So
we got sound effects.
we got sound effects. They risque. Our house percussion man. We've got one more amazing treat for you. Actually, we got more. A whole night left. But Gershon Jackson has gifted us with another.
I get up before man.
This single, Nightlife, redone. Kim English. We're going to get some perspective from him after we hear a little bit of it.
That's the most unique whistle, man, I've ever heard in the history of whistles.
Right?
Well, it's a samba whistle.
It's a what whistle?
Samba.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. It's a samba.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All the
So
combos.
take it
That's the
easy. The
Southside
Mike
thing?
Dunn, Black Ball, easy mix, and we are literally getting these new
I forgot you out
releases
for the West Side.
Yeah, man.
That's so good.
moment
That's so
by
good.
moment here. So Kim English and Nightlife.
That's where I belong.
The House of Omni vocal mix by Gershon Jackson. What's up, Reg? Ron Simmons says, "What's up, Byron?"
What's up, Ron?
Earl Young says, "We need his 4 on the floor." DJ Savoy, what's up? Yo to the news. Andrew Jones.
Same shit.
Me and him was, been friends for a while. So one day, I had to go shoot my dad, and then we went to shoot his dad. They both looked, they was like close friends growing up as kids.
Always a pleasure to have you. Please let's get a photo.
That's what they say. Time is
Thank you. Put one with the two.
So all these guys will be involved in my next project.
I'll write the liner notes for you. All right. Yeah, Dwayne, one more. I'm still getting into a little bit of family life here on the show. So, Gershon, tell us a little bit about it.
So just
There you go.
so dirty version, man. That's I got a call. Well, this goes back. Last year was the 25th anniversary of the release of Nightlife, the original.
Okay.
And so, that was, as people know, that was produced by myself in 10 City.
Yes.
He actually wrote that on Byron's floor in his living room. Baby boy, we were babysitting the kids.
That's true.
That's true. That's true
Wow.
story.
All right.
And
Babysitting has its benefits.
it's true. It
He's
does.
like, I got an idea for a song. He came by the house. I was like, well, I've got my kids with me, man. And so he said, well, I'll come by. So they were running around and we was writing this song.
Yeah, so Mike Weiss at Nervous actually reached out and was like, "Hey man, it's 25th anniversary. I really want you to do something for the label," but he wanted something more tracky. And so I said, "Man, send me the nightlife vocals and let me do my thing." I think, I thought it would be something more soulful that would work. And came back with this. And the sad irony in that is, like, maybe not even 2 weeks after I'd finished the mixes, because it was an entire vocal. There's about 6 different mixes. It's a nice package. It'll come out this year.
The Omni House.
The House of Omni. It's
House of Omni is what we're listening to now.
Yes, but it's an entire remix package. So I did like 5-6 different remixes. So it'll be out this year. But ironically, not even a week and a half after I finished was when she passed, made a transition. So made it bittersweet.
Indeed.
So
much love and respect to our sister Kim English, and this certainly memorializes her in a magnificent way.
For sure.
So we are gonna keep our energy up though, and her vocals obviously do a lot to keep us elevated.
Absolutely.
And we'll get back to some other releases with Gershon Jackson, conversation with Byron Stingily, and in studio joining us, Mr. Dave Risque. We got about 18 minutes left. I want to share a conversation with Dave. It sounded like you guys were talking about maybe him performing with you.
No, we played a Be Free song.
Okay. So we'll break into a little more conversation, and then we'll lead into the Be Free. Okay. Are tuned in to the Vintage House Show on WNUR FM 89.3 in Evanston, Chicago, NHD1, and your host Mega is in studio with the incomparable Byron Stingily, 10 Cities own, Gershon Jackson, Dave Risque, the Vintage House family, and we just had Dwayne Buford in studio, but he had to book. He's probably headed to his own studio to get some work in. And
he does a lot of film scores and stuff like that now.
He's still
for a lot of independent films and different things like that,
taking it to the next level. And we are appreciative of all of you coming out on a February night. The tough part about having a birthday in February is getting people out to celebrate with you, and so I'm very appreciative of that, of our media director Chloe and our super duper producer Lauren Lowry. We are a part of the Dance Music Research and Archiving Foundation. They power this show, and it is the only archive in the U.S. that focuses on the preservation of dance music, and so we appreciate that effort and want to ensure that anyone who wants to research the genre of house music knows that they have a great resource in the Dance Music Research and Archiving Foundation, which can be found at dancemusicfound.org. And of course, you can follow me on Instagram at Megamix86. Yes, I have a little bit of DJ lore and history as well, so thanks to all those supporters who know and follow that. But we want to hear a little bit more about the story that is 10 City. Really, for those who don't even know, what was the basis of the name 10 City?
I'm not gonna do my Marshall Jefferson impersonation today, but Marshall wanted to call the group. He said, if you're gonna do a group, I want it to be called Intensity. He said, because the music we gonna do is gonna be intense, and it's gonna. And I said, Marshall, I don't know. That sounds corny to me. Intensity, man. That, you know. And I just said it just didn't. It didn't catch to me, and then. So he was like, intensity, man, intensity. And I said, I'll tell you what, let's take the IN off of it and call it 10 City. And he said, what that mean? I say, so the number 10 in sports, if you get a perfect score, is the perfect place. So 10 symbolizes perfection and city. So 10 City is going to be a utopian type of place where everybody comes together and dance and everybody's accepted and everybody love each other and we don't have all this strife and all this neighborhood don't like this neighborhood. This is a place for everybody. And so he said he liked that concept, and we rolled with that.
I love the concept because, again, our show, this edition, at least of Vintage House, is called Philosophical Grooves, and that's a incredibly philosophical perspective that you have about why 10 City is very relevant to the music and to the mood that you establish with your music.
Well, two things, Marshall, I mean, even when he did the record Move Your Body, we debated about that, and he said he was calling it the house music anthem. I said, that's a very bold statement, man. He said, no, this is going to be one of the baddest. This is going to stand the test. And I was like, wow, okay, well, call it that then. And he called it and he claimed it.
And, and again, just going back, I got to stress this one more time. The NBA All-Star Weekend was here in Chicago, and the NBA and TNT put together this incredible montage of some iconic figures of Chicago. And, of course, there was a music bed attached to it. And in that music bed was Marshall Jefferson's Move Your Body track. And the house
somebody just
nation
redid
stood
it.
up.
Somebody just redid it, and it's been like #1 on all the different download sites, Beatport, TrackSource. It's somebody just redid Move Your Body, and it's making noise all over again. So Marshall is he's doing all right. He's getting booked on a lot of big festivals now to DJ, like with a lot of the big name guys who are making that big money. And I know he just aligned himself with one of those big super agent guys that represents a lot of those guys. And so Marshall's getting ready to do his thing all over again. And his agent just contacted me about a month ago, and they said they really would like to do a 10 City project when I be up for it. And I said, of course I would be. And so I actually have an offer that I'm waiting to see if this one major label is they may present an offer. So, and we just kind of agreed to terms. It hasn't been signed, so maybe I'm being premature, but.
No, you're claiming it. You're claiming it. And I want to give just a shout out and appreciation for the contributions of your bandmates.
Absolutely.
Who couldn't be here with us tonight.
Yep. Herb Lawson, the talented musician. He was actually supposed to come tonight, and he said he had a personal incident happen that didn't allow him to come. And Mr. Byron Burke, he's not really focusing on music and things. He has other things he's focused on right now, but they're both very talented individuals who contributed to the group 10 City.
My quick 10 City story. I have a story for most of the guests that we have on the
Herb didn't try to slip your girl his number.
No, nothing like that. No,
cool. I just trying to make sure.
This is one of those stories that has to do, there's two really, with your performances.
Okay.
One of them was at the New Music Seminar in the 90s.
Yeah, I remember.
The costumes, I think it was, the club escapes me. I am getting old.
At
It was
Club
another
World?
birthday.
Was it World or
It was
Palladium?
a big cavernous space. It wasn't Palladium. It might have been
1018?
World or 1018.
Okay.
It could have been. I actually have one of the flyers for that show, but I have pictures, more importantly. And the costumes were pretty phenomenal from that show. and I complimented you guys after the show. I don't think you really knew me.
I knew who you were. I mean, everybody in the
back
house
then.
community knew each other. Come on, man.
But
I knew you as Rick. I actually knew you as like that's Rick Lenoir's guy. So me and-
thank you, Rick.
No, me and Rick Lenoir came up together. That
No,
was
I
like
know,
my
I
cousin.
know that he did. I give him credit for getting us connected.
Yeah, so I always saw you. I was like, that's Rick Lenoir guy. So that's my family. So that automatically makes you family.
Mirage Entertainment
Right.
was the camp that I was down with back then. Rick, Larry
Right.
Thompson,
I went to high school with Larry.
Gary Wallace,
Gary. I
Georgie
love Gary.
Porgy was with the
Georgie
camp
Porgy.
for a while. Terry Hunter.
Right.
Oh man, good days. I'm having some great nostalgia here. But we also down the street there was a conversation that just started on Facebook today about a club called Kaboom and a
Right.
special night called the Post Office. And you guys did an incredible performance. Like you guys, I think, turned the post office upside down.
Wow.
Maurice Joshua, Gary Wallace, E Smooth,
Wow. He's
all
smooth.
those
That's my
guys
boy there, too. Oh, wow.
performed. So on that night
Wow.
at the post office was a special night because I was pitching Doc and the team of 10 City
Kevin.
to ensure that I could be their publicist, right? Because
Awesome.
my claim was to be the first house music publicist, and I represented many acts, and for a brief moment, I
don't want to
represented
forget
10
Ralphie
City.
Rosario, too. He's part of
Ralphie Rosario
Yeah, that's
was
what
part
we-
of the post office, and Connie
Oh,
Barbiziotis,
wow. Yeah.
Connie V, and Smash Records.
Yeah.
So on that night, I'm sure you remember signing this, right? 2 Mega. Keep in touch. Thanks for everything, Byron.
Yeah.
This is my
And I want to say,
show and tell.
thanks for the pub, even again tonight. Thanks for everything.
This DJ Slip Mat has been in the archives of the Dance Music Research and Archive Foundation on display at the Old
Exhibited.
Town
Yeah.
School of Folk Music.
Wow.
Okay.
And we're working on some other things, but yeah, it will. I probably gotta frame it and do some other things to preserve this. But thank you for this.
Thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being a brother all these years.
And so we've got also with us Dave Risque, and we are interested in hearing about how Dave and Byron and 10 City are involved today, tomorrow. What's happening?
What did Byron lose his mind?
Did Byron lose his mind? No, he did not. Dave
No,
is
he's
a
devoted.
staple.
He's devoted.
So
I've known Dave Risque. I mean, when you grow up and you're a club head, I mean, going all the way back to the early 80s, I've known Dave from all the parties. You know, Dave's a talented artist in his own right. And
absolutely.
I've always respected him. And so, like, as the years went on, when we would do 10 City shows, Dave would join us on stage and things like that. And he's always been an unofficial member. Just like Gershon Jackson here, he's written on 10 City songs with me. A lot of people don't know that. And he's an unofficial member. He's rapped. He doesn't tell people he was a rapper. We had him signed to Atlantic Records as rapper DJ Sean. What was your famous line? He used to say something. I pack a mic by my waistline and I don't waste mine or something.
Can we move on with the interview?
Well, we got a microphone now. We might put a mic over there right now.
It's okay. We have to claim our history, our roots. But weren't you on a JM Silk track too?
Oh, you was trying, you was sneaking over there? So, all right, man.
No.
You was
No,
fine.
okay. I was thinking I got to get my house history together.
I did some stuff with DJ International and
Okay.
all that. Yeah, I was signed towards that Atlantic Big Beat.
Yeah, Big Beat
Yeah,
Records.
we have some professional ties. me and
Rejoice,
Gershon.
Rejoice on Atlantic. Yeah, Big Beat.
My Dave Risque story, Sours.
Uh-oh.
Back in the
Oh, wait, you said it correctly.
Did you have a shirt on?
Thank
Oh, of
you.
course. I
For
was-
those that don't,
Sawyers, man.
No,
I'm from the West Side, baby.
No.
It's Sawyers, man.
I
You got
got
it.
man. There's
Oh,
some
man,
house,
you bougie
house
like that,
history
man?
that
I'm
I
sorry.
will not.
We
You ain't go to Kenwood, man. Stop, man.
But yes, Dave Risque dancing on the speakers. That image is permanently emblazoned in my mind.
You need
And
some
it's-
therapy, man. If that image on your mind, man.
This dude, he is an icon in the history of house music. So we've got about 5 minutes left. We've got another amazing song to share with you all. Again, it's the eve of my birthday, and just an amazing night, the reunion of Tin City and collaborators. And so we're gonna free ourselves in a moment.
Could you play my song for your birthday? Just a little bit of it?
Yeah, he could do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, hold on. Before you do that, we have to do this.
We got
He got a cue.
I have been the
Okay,
DJ
okay. You got a
and
cue.
requests. I'm
Yeah.
getting requests here.
Gotta say this.
Please,
For people who don't know, I've known Kevin probably about 27, 28 years.
at least, yes.
27, in a whole nother, an entirely different life. And so I just want to say, you know, it's all about giving people flowers while they're here. I think what you have done and continue to do for the culture
Support
is
other people,
important.
man.
I think that,
Very
and
important.
it does not go unnoticed. So, you know, I want to say, you know, much respect, man. Love you.
We
Continue
love
to
you,
do
man. Thank you.
what
I
you're
am
doing.
humbled and appreciate
Um,
that.
You and I have shared, you probably don't remember some of this, but we have had some laughs. We've shared a few tears.
Yes.
But it's always been in the spirit of brotherhood. And I definitely, I know I speak for Byron and for Dave, you know, that, and the entire culture, that
Yeah.
you are valued, man. Much
Absolutely,
respect and
bro.
love. And happy
Yeah.
birthday to
I
you.
appreciate that. I'm part of a team for this
The whole team.
this
Absolutely.
endeavor and this preservation of the culture. And so shout out to Lauren Lowry and to
Yes.
Lori Branch,
Yes,
our media director, Chloe Forte, and then all of those, Louie and Ernest and all those who come week in and week out, to all of the guests who have been on this show.
Yes,
I pour my heart out to all of you all, and I'm thankful again that my wife Karen allows me to do
Karen!
this.
Woo!
So this is
Miss
Lauren over here,
Mega.
right?
I'm Lauren,
No,
by the way.
that's what I thought, because the camera's bigger than her. It's really, her camera's bigger than her.
And so we are certainly emancipated by this music. We let our hair down, we let our hearts and love flow. And this song, I've never heard it until this moment with you. It is called Be Free. Let's check it out.
One that ain't out there. Live horns, DJ Immaculate, L Boogie on the background.
You gotta get the lights He said that right. You don't even
So
know
I had a crew in college called BMG. We were the Better Music Group.
Oh,
And,
wow.
we DJ'd all the campus parties in Champaign, and one of my guys, L. Lance Ellis, is
Wow.
tuned in. Part of the Mirage Camp and Lazy Boy Records, Chauncey Alexander.
Chauncey!
Trying to get Chauncey on the show. DJ Reggie Davenport, we gotta get you in. DJ Kenny Ray, who was just here on Vintage House,
That's my guy there too.
is watching. Earl Young complimented you on your suit and tie.
See, we all have a lot of life.
My classmate Cynthia Henry.
Pursuit of happiness is a basic right. The right to live with dignity. Why would anybody want to take that from me? How about I respect you and you respect me? And together like love, laughter, and liberty. I expect that, and I want that, for everybody. You be you, let me be me. And everybody wants equality. Freedom, I just wanna live this life I live.
Be free. Oh my gosh, this is a monster.
Wow.
And we are out of time. I can't believe it. The most incredible episode of Vintage House yet.
This is it.
It
Epic.
keeps getting better. My heart goes out to all of you tuned in over the air on WNUR 89.3 FM.
Happy birthday, Kevin!
Thank you,
Get
DJ
my cake in
E,
here.
Dave Risque,
Get my cake in
Byron
here.
Stingly,
This is seriously it's orange and blue cake.
Gershon. Look at this, y'all.
He's only.
This is love. This is
Just
love.
made 21. Just made 21. See what a house would do for you?
Dave, thanks for coming in. Byron, thank you for being here. Gershon, thanks for sharing the magic of your music. Man, I couldn't have planned or expected any of this. We didn't get to ask any philosophical questions, but
You old.
it's your main man, Mega, celebrating another birthday. Thank you to the Almighty Father for this opportunity to rotate around the sun again, and of course, to be a part of this culture of house music that is in my heart. Love you, peace, and thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in 2 weeks, but check out my colleague Lauren Lowry and Lori Branch next week back here on Vintage House. Yep, just outside.
Yo veo el ojo del diablo, los hombres malos, la calle, yo sigo así, no me importa porque nací berraquita, la fuerza corre mi sangre, la sangre de mis ancestras son las mujeres leonas que han luchado para sobrevivir. Es este mundo preciso aquí, sigue llenito de sus hijueputas, manejan el espacio de opresión. Machito sigue pidiendo más la vuelta. A mí me gusta por ser mujer, pero no nací en este cuerpo. Lo escogí, sé que hay que hacer. Eso está fuera de mi control. Mis hermanitas, ellas ya saben. Lograron que están
I enjoyed it.
Man, you have. I mean, those are relics.
They call me a hoarder at home, but I don't.
I wish I came with you at this conversation. I gave all my stuff away to my family.
And so you could be, retractor. I rescind all the rights of all that stuff I gave to you, and I want it back. But no, it's I've lost a lot as well. I lived in Marynook and had stuff in the basement and the sewer system before they upgraded. I got all that backflow. Lost a lot of stuff.
Happy to
importa porque nací berraquita, la fuerza corre en mi sangre, la sangre de mis ancestras son las mujeres bellonas que han luchado para sobrevivir. A mí me gusta ser mujer, pero no nací en este cuerpo. No lo escogí ni sé qué hacer. Esto está fuera de mi control.
I like that track.
Mis hermanitas ellas ya saben
That's pretty
lo raro que están a contestar. Los problemitas de esta mujer solo dijo puta de este mundo.
I know you guys are. No, it's sounding great. Right, that's fire, man.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that? No, the song.
I cannot hear you. Sorry.
Yeah, that's really good. So Vintage House has probably been going for about 3 years. I've been, this will be year 2 for me. I am enjoying it more and more.
We'll quick pick and then we'll go.
Okay, yeah.
We'll take all seven. But give me that. We'll take a picture with that.
This is a recorder. Oh, with, yes.
Wait, I think I take my stuff down. So,
Yeah, okay.
just leave it right here for a second. Let's take
Yeah.
a picture so they can go.
All right. Be right back.
I guess I should take that.
I do want my own.
Bye, everyone.